pause for a second and grab a cough drop here. My throat's getting a little toasty, and I'm running out of cough drops. Yee. The shop is closed. All right, back to action. So our truck might be all beat up on the outside, but it's running like a top on the inside. Come on. Quit stalling out, you freak. Do you really want me to answer that? All right, here you go, Uncle Joe. USA, USA, USA. You said, don't raise your voice to the little scout. Yes, but you cannot turn the diff lock off on this car. It's always on. This truck has a permanent diff lock. So, all right. Any level up yet? Nope. Let's see. We're on level 5. We have, let's see. Where does it tell us how much more experience we need? Doesn't say. It says in the garage, task achievements? No. Oh, well. Now you know what game you're playing when you get home. You said UK all the way. No, USA. I love the UK. I do. But you take for granted things like, I don't know, regular garbage pickup. Actually having garbage men that'll pick your garbage cans up, not have to be in one container. Like what happened? Like here's the situation. Moni has, you know, several dogs, guinea pigs, and 2 kids, and she can only get one garbage bin picked up a week. Actually, every other week. You could do recycling one week and garbage bin the other week. How are you supposed to get all the garbage that you know 3 people and pets make into one small garbage can? You can't. So what happens is, and this happens, I've seen other people around the neighborhood that have the same thing happen. People have piles and piles of trash in their backyards because they don't pick up enough garbage. Stuff like that. That's why I prefer the USA. You just, okay, if you want to buy 4 garbage cans, you can, and then you can put all 4 out, and they'll come pick them up. There's no limit to how many you can do. And that might be different regionally, I don't know. But other things I like about the USA, the vast majority of people in the USA have their own front and backyard along with their own house. They have a property. A vast majority of people in the UK live in townhouses. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's just a different standard of living. Things like, you know, Moni's house, and this is all the people in this area, they don't have combined hot and cold water. You have a hot water tap, and you have a cold water tap. Makes doing the dishes a very painful operation because you're either burning yourself or freezing yourself. Yes, you have to load stuff into the car and take it to the dump banther, but here's the problem with that. People don't have cars either. And Moni doesn't have a car, so how is she going to take that? How is she going to get that stuff to the dump? So then you got to find a friend that hopefully will take you to the dump, or somebody that's got a car that's willing to put your garbage in the back of their car. It's once again, those are the reasons. Some of the reasons why I prefer it. Things like paper straws, things that you take for granted, like the little metal ties that you get on bread. They don't do that here. Everything is plastic, so you can't. I don't know. It's very heavily regulated, so you can't take garbage on the bus. You can't take bags of garbage on the bus. Public transportation definitely is more popular, but here's the other thing with the take the bus thing. The bus is excruciatingly expensive. For one day's tickets for the kids and the wife, it's like $16, $18. I mean, if you got to go somewhere every day, you're talking $20 a day. Add that up over a month, you're talking hundreds of dollars. It's you know, and the train. I mean, if like to go to Manchester, if you're lucky and you can get the right train, you can do it in for like 30 or 40 pounds. But in general, like if you have to go during times when everyone else is going, it's like 80 or 90 pounds. So it's just life is very expensive over here, and it's I'm not saying it's bad or good. If to be honest with you, because of my financial issues, I could live here. If I just dumped my house over in America and came over here, Moni and I could eke by pretty easily on what I make. If we were willing to settle for something small. But it's I don't know. But America is becoming that way. It used to be like the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now it seems to be more like the land of the lone and card sharks. The food is much healthier over here, Elk. The one thing I don't love is that everything has like NutraSweet in it. It's not necessarily NutraSweet. It's like sugar replacement, like health stuff. So like you can taste like the Splenda. Like if you drink their pop, it's got Splenda in it rather than sugar. So you're thirstier when you're done drinking than when you started. I don't know if you've ever had Splenda before, but it actually leaves you thirstier. But in general, the food is fresher. It means that you have to eat it in a couple days. So like bread in America, if you buy bread 2 weeks later, you can still probably eat it. If you tried to eat 2-week-old bread here, it would be completely ruined. Yep, and so the food is you have to eat the food when you buy it. So people basically, they go to the store every 2 or 3 days to buy groceries. It's not like America where you have a giant refrigerator and you buy stuff for the next 2 weeks. You don't do that here. You buy for the next 2 or 3 days. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't I've already lost weight being here, and I don't feel like I've eaten any less than I normally eat, but you're not eating all these preservatives, and you're not eating I mean, you can still eat bad if you want to, but most of the food that you get doesn't have the same crap in it that we have. And so in some ways it is much better for you. So I don't know. And yes, Joe, you do have the best fish and chips. But I feel like I enjoy driving. I enjoy the freedom of driving. And driving is a very stressful thing over here, at least from what I've experienced. I've spent 4 months with a car here. And I feel like 90% of the time you're being put into situations where you're head-on with somebody because of the way that they have the road and these traffic calming measures designed. It's a frightening thing to drive. It's not an easy thing to do. I think we need to turn right here. Yeah, go up that way. We're going to have to bring our fuel tanker back over here. So in some way, I'd say, I mean, and that's right. That's why people are you don't see a lot. Well, Scotland's great for driving, Uncle Joe. You don't see a lot of fat people over here as much as you do in America. The roads at Banther are much narrower. They don't use traffic lights in general. They use traffic circles. And that can be really when you get to a traffic circle that's 3 lanes wide, that's stressful. I'm sorry. It's a scary situation to come into those traffic circles. I hate them. And once you start navigating them, it's okay, but it's a really like you're constantly like having to look over your shoulder. Am I cutting somebody off? Everybody just kind of crashes in. So it's a roundabouts, yeah. I want to say they're somewhat, depending on how busy it is. A small roundabout is not bad, but a big roundabout is it's a nightmare. I'm sure you do, but it's different. It's a very different situation. I feel you kind of have to know how the flow is going, and if you don't, people aren't very forgiving. If you're not understanding what's going on there, because they do know what's going on, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like, I don't know. So anyway, it's a different kind of driving over here. Ooh, ouch. Oh, they use intersections there? Hi, cutie. It's definitely better for traffic. I will agree with you at that, Uncle Joe. It definitely is better for traffic flow. And the 1-lane roundabout's not a problem. But the big roundabouts, they're kind of scary. Oh, another thing that's different over here that you have to get used to, they have what's called a zebra crossing or zebra crossing, and if somebody walks out into that crossing, you have to stop. So the people just walk out into the street. So you have to keep your eyes open for zebra crossings because you have to always know that there could be somebody that's about to walk out. So that's different from here. In America, the people wait for the cars to go by and then they cross. Yeah, I mean we have roundabouts even in my neighborhood, but there's only a few of them and they're all one-lane roundabouts, and so that's easier. But here, you have a freeway, keep cars going 50 miles an hour into a roundabout, and if you stop at the wrong time, people will crash into the back of you. It's stressful. Right, people are still supposed to look, but some don't. Thank you, honey. So anyway, it's just different. It's a more stressful driving over here. Once again, the roads are a lot narrower, and I will say this, though. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, and Joe, you can agree or disagree, I feel like the people over here are good drivers, though. Like, shockingly, even the young people know how to drive. Like, they're careful drivers. They seem like they know what they're doing, and they know what they're about, and they're careful. And I'm sure there's bad drivers out there here for sure, but it seems like more people are good drivers here than before. Hey, what's up, Wazazzle? So, oh yeah, they're all over here because I don't want to say a freeway, but they're dual carriageways. So you'll have like a 55 mile an hour speed limit, and then you plow into a 3-lane traffic circle, and it's like, and we definitely have those here. There's one not 2 minutes down the road from here. So down south there were, yeah. All right, we need to take this truck over to the factory also because we now need to service our truck now that we've gotten there. So we're going to go, let me see, left at the next intersection. Yeah, insurance costs are high. You said Ohio is strange. Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about here in England, Aiden. Ohio doesn't have that at all. There's no roundabouts on freeways in Ohio. I'm talking about over here in the UK. So it's too expensive. The insurance is crazy expensive over here, huh? So, which would I prefer to live in? I prefer the variety of the United States. I feel like there's more opportunity. I feel like there's more jobs. Depending on what part of the country is, there's way less people on government this or government that. People are pretty much self-motivated and self-working, whereas here, at least where I'm at, it seems like most people just are living off of a government paycheck because there's no jobs. I'm transporting just fuel and repair points right now because I'm supporting my scout. We're doing scout missions. So I don't know. I feel like I would America provides more opportunity. I feel like they still, in most ways, provide a better education than from what I've seen here. And I feel like there's just more opportunity to do what you want to do as an individual. However, I could survive here if I didn't have my expenses back in the United States. And I'll tell you what, if I didn't have my kids, I would probably move here because it's just easier. Getting Moni over to the United States is a pain in the butt. It would be easier just for me to move here and live here. But I have my kids, and I can't leave my kids like that. So glad to hear it, Jackal. Glad it's a big help. So I do love it over here. I definitely would not live where we live right now. I'd find a better neighborhood. My wife and I were looking at, well, it doesn't matter, but there's a neighborhood up the road that's really nice that she used to live in that she wishes she could still live there, and I agree with her. But it is just a different kind of living. You have to in order to get like that. I don't know. I haven't. I will say that there's, I can't really say too much on my channel because we don't talk about that stuff really, but I would say that there is racism, not the same as in the United States. It's against a different type of people. And it's pretty prevalent because there's a lot of bad things that have happened in the country because of this group of people. But I'm not going to go into it because it's really not appropriate for the channel. So, but there is definitely racism here. Not in the same way there is in the United States, but it still does exist, yes. There you go. Yep, the FS17 guides and FS19 guides get people to my channel. So, but yeah, I do love it over here. And I once again, I think the harder thing for English people is that, you know, it's much more expensive to live. No, not the French. It's much more expensive. Well, that too, though. But that's not really a race thing. That's more of a country thing because they're both the same race. Actually, I don't really believe in races, if I'm frank. I think that both Darwin and the Bible, the only place that they agreed was that man is one race. You have the race of man. There's men, and then there's men. Their skin changes color, but they're all men. So anyway, but that's as far as I'll go with that. I don't necessarily think there are different races. I think we're all one race. We're all human beings. So anyway, the biggest issue I have here is that for you to have, like I have, you know, at home I've got about a half an acre of land. I've got my own car, a nice one, and I've got, you know, a 2,200 square foot home. And it costs me a lot of money to have that, but I could never have that, be able to afford to have that here. You're talking like millions of dollars, or at least $1 million over here for the same kind of property. What? You think $500,000? So it's basically double the cost of what I'm paying at home. You know, Jackal, that's what happened to me too. You get totally sucked into the farm sim game. So. Yeah. You can just get so much more for your money in the United States too, and that's what I was getting at. Yeah, I mean, you just get so much more. It's half the cost over there. So, and I know the gas situation's another one. Like, you know, gasoline over here, her mom has to pay about $90 US to fill up a little 10-gallon tank. I mean, it's like, what? Yeah, it is. Or maybe 12-gallon? It's not over 15. It's the same size tank as my car. Yeah, and so she's got this car that, you know, it costs, you know, $80 to fill it up. It costs me, you know, $23 to fill up the same size tank. So that hurts too, you know. So it makes it much harder to travel around. Though you don't really have to travel around as much. That's a big difference too. Everything's close in here, so. You said I get paid 600% more. Well, that would work. Yeah, however, I do love the cars that you guys have, Uncle Joe. I like I mean, I'm a big guy, and for going like on the road, I would prefer a bigger car. But for tooling around town, I love little hatchbacks, and we just don't have very many to pick from in the U.S. The only one we have is the Golf, you know, the Volkswagen Golf, which is a great car, and the Ford Focus, but the Ford Focus is terrible. I've rented even like more recent ones, and they're just... The gas pedal, I can't get comfortable with the gas pedal on the Ford Focus. For some reason, it feels like it sticks out straight rather than being down on the ground. And anyway. But you guys have like millions of hatchbacks to choose from and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, the Fiesta. Yeah, that thing's horrible too. Over here, they have Peugeot and Renault. Yeah, that's true, Aiden. That's true. I do like the fact that the British are very support Britain. I like that. I like the fact that they, you know, buy British pork and they buy British meat. Like, everybody tries to buy British stuff, and it's pretty cool. Cyberpunk. It will go on sale pretty soon, Jackal, the 19. Farm Sim 19. Actually, watch for the Steam Summer Sale because it probably will go on here in the next couple weeks. I love hatchbacks. Right, we have our own gas rigs and stuff, so. You either, Mr. Micah, yes. Well, that's a different situation, right? Well, don't do it. Ah, Fiat. Oui, oui. Actually, that's Italian, isn't it? All right, so we've tooled around the map chasing after these scout missions. I think the UK is the size of 3 or 4 of our states. It takes about, if you're going to travel from the top of Scotland down to the Land's End at the base of the country, I think it takes about 12 hours. And then it takes about 4 hours to get across. So you'd be looking at like a trip from Ohio down to the bottom of bottom of Tennessee, maybe, and then across Ohio. So it's narrow, but it's long. So I would say it's probably the size of like Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and maybe Michigan all put into one. All right, so let's fix this. Let's fuel this guy up. We're gonna refuel the Scout. Change trucks. Oh, I've left it running. It's all right, though. We have plenty of gas. My favorite car in real life. Joe, I love classic Japanese cars. That's right. You're new to the channel. My son actually has a 1980 RX-7 SA, and he wants me to buy it. I can't afford it, but I would love to buy it. It's completely redone. It's got new clutch, new suspension, new tires, new everything. It's all redone. He redid he did the seals on the motor, so it's good for a while. Is this local entertainment? Yep. So we need to follow this mission. So yeah, I do. Hang on a second. Let me get these. Start tracking. Okay. $11 hours. Okay. Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, that's about the same. So it's pretty big. I mean, that's a long trip. Correct. 4 countries in the UK. Correct. Yes, it is a rotary engine. Yeah, it's a really cool car. You know, back then, it's not super fast or anything, but it's it's got a sunroof. You take the roof out, and you have a sunroof, and it's got the fairly comfortable to it's fairly comfortable to drive. Her horsey just had a baby. So it's got the Winkle rotary engine, 155 horsepower. Once again, this is the first RX-7, so it looks like a Porsche 944. It was back before they 80ized them and made them look like RoboCop cars. You had 2 old people with you. Would they be your parents, Mr. Micah? Sorry, guys. I apologize for the coughing. Is this the best way to do this? Yeah, see, Alpha, unfortunately, is like down here, and we're going to have to go down and come back up, so. Weak bladders, you had to keep stopping. My dream car. And I'd have to sit in one first to see if it's comfortable. Oh, yeah, I love the Skyline, but I wouldn't get a Nissan. I would get a Porsche 911, like a 70s 911 Carrera, maybe an S model with a sunroof, or convertible would be even better. I've always wanted a convertible Porsche, so that's my favorite car. But I do like that. I love Japanese cars in general. My friend Joe used to have a 1972 Toyota Corona. It's this little economy car. Man, he beat the. It was really, his dad was a collector, and he would restore cars. So it was all restored, but it had these little 10-inch wheels and stuff. And Joe would just pound this thing around the corners. The windshield wipers were like 4 inches long. A Porsche making. What's up, Chippy? Welcome back. Dangerous water level. Oh, man. Your dad had a 1980 Toyota Supra? So that'd be the Celica Supra, right? I like the later Supras, the ones with the whale tail. I think they were like the early 90s. Yeah, there's a couple guys where I live that have the Nissan GTRs. Those things are awesome. Pretty neat cars. Really fast. Sorry. I love pop-up headlights. My son has a rule with his RX-7. You are not allowed to deploy the headlights unless the car is in motion. Otherwise, you're not cool. So he only ever once his car is rolling, he then deploys the headlights. I did it one time. He's like, "No, Dad, no." He's like, "You're absolutely not allowed to do that unless the car is moving." Oh. But I do love pop-up headlights. It is such a late 70s, early 80s thing. Like, all sports cars had pop-up headlights in 1980. Okay, so it was the original Supra. Okay. See, I thought the Supra started with the Celica Supra and then moved to the Supra, but I could be incorrect about that. I didn't realize they had a straight-up Supra. The good thing is there's no timer on this mission. Otherwise, we'd be really hurting because it takes me like 45 minutes to get to the other side. We're going to stop back at the base, obviously, get the truck fixed up, and then move on to the other 4. Dodge Aries, huh? Like an Aries K, you mean? Wait, you mean from like the 80s? The box car? What's funny is my friend's mom, Vivian Hubbish. That's her their last name was Hubbish, the poor kid. You can imagine what happened in grade school with a name like Hubbish. Anyway, his mom drove a Dodge Aries K station wagon, and I had a Jeep, from the 90s. And I'll tell you what, it had the same handles, the same door panels. Like, it basically was an Aries K inside. It's horrible. I'll tell you what, though, that car saved Chrysler. Lee Iacocca with that K car, he saved Chrysler. They sold really, really well. Supra with the J2 engine. But yeah, I would take that. If I couldn't find a Porsche, I'd say my other favorite car, and I can't fit inside them. I'm too tall and fat. The Datsun 240Z. My son was going to rebuild one, and he didn't. He ended up not building it, but he just sold it a few weeks ago. But he had a 1973 Datsun 240, which was to rebuild, and I love that car. I'll tell you what, those 1970s models are good-looking cars. Do you like Volvo? Yep. I wouldn't say I'm like a Volvo enthusiast, but they're cool cars. The Toyota FJ40. Wait a minute, isn't that a truck? FJ40, that's a truck. That's not a car. Wish it was in the game. All right, let's see. We're going to refuel this guy. And we need to repair it. All right, Chippy, have fun with your family. Family always comes first. Hang on one second. What's up, baby? Oh, yes. I have to let the doggy in. I'll be right back. What do you guys think? A Jeep is it a truck? Love it. Belv, it's worth it. Make sure you get the premium edition, though, because there's a lot of DLCs that are coming out. New trucks, new cars, new maps. More game. If you sit down and play it the way you're supposed to play it all the way through, it's probably going to take you a good 40 to 50 hours of content. So I think it's worth it. It's been a lot of fun. There's a lot to it. Yeah, Jeep's a 4x4, but it's still. Would you consider the Jeep a truck or an SUV? It's an SUV. The new ones are SUVs. Yeah, I guess. What about a Jeep Wrangler though? That's not really an SUV, is it? Like a Jeep Cherokee, like what I had, that's an SUV. But what would you consider like a YJ7? That's not really an SUV, is it? It's just a Jeep or a UAZ. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, Belv, I think that this game is wonderful. It's a lot of fun. And you said, say hello, friend. Hello, friend. Totally an SUV. Even the YJ7. Oh, all right. All right, so we're going to grab these last 4. I hope this kicks me over the level to the next level, but we'll see. It's an off-road thingy. Oh, I found a stump. Shoot, my truck is bashed badly to heck. Okay, let's see what we got here. Road straight ahead. All right. Anyway, I think you'll enjoy it. If you like off-road stuff, yeah. It's an off-road thing. That's right, Uncle Joe, the advertising. It's an off-road thingy. Yeah, the YJ7's a weird one because it's not. It'd be like this. Like, is this an SUV? I don't know that this is big enough to be an SUV. It only carries 2 people. Like, when I think of an SUV, I think of a people mover. So, Jeeps or tractors. There you go. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, and I don't think that they're roadworthy, but Mahindra has a clone of the Jeep YJ7, the original Willys Jeep, available, and they're pretty cheap. But I think they're for farm use only. I don't think you're supposed to be able to have them on the road, but maybe you can. I don't know. But I drove past the Mahindra dealership in our town, and they have like 50 of them. They're open. They have no roofs, but they're like an original military Jeep, like a Willys Jeep, and they look really cool. But I think they're supposed to be kind of like in that. Shoot, that wasn't where I wanted to go. In that golf cart class of things. So they come out like those. What are those called? The over-powered golf carts. I forget what those are called. Yeah, I guess, Aiden, you're correct. So then if you really do consider it sport utility vehicle, the Jeep does fall under that. The YJ7 does fall under that. Ooh, that's cool. An S60R 2003. Cool. No, not, well, maybe quad. I don't know. That's really not what quad really wasn't what I was looking for. But I think you're right. I think they call them quads. Yeah, I guess. Maybe the Willys Jeep was the first SUV. All right, we'll see ya. 4-wheeler, that would work too. No, 4-wheeler is like an ATV. These are, I'm trying like a Polaris, like is what I'm trying to think of. Like what would you call those Polarises? I think you do call them. It's a world that I never really delve into, like the off-road motorsports world. Crap, where is the up for this? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna run out of gas before I get there. Have a good night, Wazazzle. Yeah, like a side-by-side, right. Hey, KW, how's it going? Uh-oh, my computer's overheating. Did you guys see that? That means my processor got too hot. That's because it's so freaking hot in this living room. Oh, I didn't know that the 4Runner was the first thing to be called an SUV. Okay. Oh, come on. Are you kidding? All right, let's try to slow the tires down. Oh, yeah, we're still overheating. Hang on, let me see what I can do here with this laptop. Push it up a little bit and see. Not so good, Sue. My computer's getting too hot. I think Volvos are... do they still make? They still make Volvo, don't they? It's still a car company. I'm thinking of Saab. Saab is the one that went out. Trying to get my vents up a little closer to the fans to cool it off again. Yeah, they basically Volvo was there. They went for all safety. They're like, what can we stand out on? Let's make it safety, which I think is cool. And they did a good job. Yep, Saab makes planes, or made planes. Some of the more well-used passenger aircraft were made by Saab. The small, I forget what the model is, but there's a prop plane that they made that was used worldwide heavily by the airlines. Very reliable aircraft. But, yep. Yeah, Volvo makes great cars. All right, so sun's going down on our mission. We should be able to get all these barrels pretty quickly now. And then I probably should get going because it's getting late. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here, right? Am I right, babe? 10 to 2. We get up at 7? What? What? That's, well, yeah, the 340. There we go. Thank you. That's awesome, Captain Mac. I don't know if they're in business or not. I know they got bought out and then had, like, big problems. Well, they had big problems, and then they got bought out, and then they still had big problems. Yeah, it should be all right. The computer. It's what it's doing is no. Yes. Perfect. I aimed perfectly. It's throttling the processor down to cool it off, and that's what that stuttering is, unfortunately. This is my only trouble with this truck. It's like I said, it's bumpy and jerky. I didn't even get there. Wait for me. No, reverse. Almost went off the cliff. I'm just going to back all the way out. Yeah. Oof. Little tap. Tappy tap tap. Little love tap. Come on back. I gotta look at the map here. Where am I going? I want to go over there. I don't think that's the way that we're going to go around. The safe way. If there is such a thing. Come on. Did you guys like my 360 barrel roll? It's pretty nice, wasn't it? Did you ever do that in the Saab 340, Captain Mac? I hope not, because everybody would have been sick. No rolling in passenger jets, please. I wonder how many passenger jets can do a full roll. I'm sure some of them can, but it's not really to spec. They got some dihedral in those wings. No, sir. Not on purpose, anyway. Yeah, there's quite a lot of dihedral in a passenger plane, and you probably don't want to roll it because you said, do you even wear seatbelts? Yes. Yeah, I think they're owned by somebody else. I don't know if it was Ford that bought them out or probably Chrysler. Look out. Fiat. Unfortunately, we don't have a house fan. We just ordered one last night. It's been like in the 60s here, and then all of a sudden it shot up to 84 today, and it's going to be the rest of the week. It's going to be hot. But I won't be streaming for the rest of the week, so it won't really matter, will it? Oh. Wait a minute. Why didn't I get that? I knocked the barrels over. What? General Motors. Actually, I think you're right. I think it is General Motors that bought them out. Yep, I think you're correct on that one. Okay, this is bad. I'm trying to use the gears to slow it down. No, don't do that. Okay. Okay, one, I hate this, so we're going to do this. There we go. Ah, so much better. Are you not streaming? No, I'm streaming right now. Yes, I will not be streaming tomorrow or Friday. The next stream will be most likely next Tuesday. So I'm going to take a couple days off, and then I'm traveling on Saturday and Sunday. And then I have a super, super early photo shoot on Tuesday morning, so I'll be going to bed. Though, maybe I'll stream on Monday. We'll see how the day goes. I might stream Monday. We'll just, like I said, we'll have to see how things go. Yeah, this game is better looking than Mud Runner for sure. I like it because you kind of personalize and own your trucks. So unlike Mud Runner, where if you lose a truck in the river, you just go grab another one. In this one, you're going to be like, oh, geez, I need that. And you got to go get the truck because you have to have it for like missions and stuff. It's really hard to just abandon a truck in this game. Maybe later on in the game when you have a lot of trucks to pick from, but early on, you really need your trucks. Yeah, it's a much deeper game than Mud Runner. Once again, truck ownership, longevity of story. You use the same trucks throughout all the maps, and there's a running mission set that go through across the maps. So each region has its own mission set, and it's all right. No, no, no. Oh, you piece of. That's the only problem with this truck is it is so floppy that doing this kind of mission's not necessarily the greatest mission for this truck. This might have been better handled by the Chevy. I'm inches. But I have to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it hanging like that. That's where the story ends for tonight. We'll pick this up next week. Probably Tuesday night when we'll play this next. So, have a great night, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help if you're on YouTube. And I will see you guys on, I know, it's so close. I'll see you guys on SnowRunner next Tuesday night. Until then, have a safe weekend, you guys, and we'll see you then. Bye.